we're live.
Yes. Good day, fellow viewers of the Rin's Art Cafe channel. My name is Rin, your lovely host, and today with me I have Piqi Miqi.
Hey, what's
Before
up?
oh, before we begin the interview, I would like to have before my God, I forgot my words. Before we before we begin the interview, I would like to have a little disclaimer. Please do not please do not send hate to anyone mentioned in this video or featuring in this video. This is strictly our opinion. And when commenting, please be respectful of each other's opinion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment this video. And without further ado, let's begin.
Yay! Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward. I've been looking forward to this. We met online like, I don't know,
Yeah.
2 months ago, 3 months ago. How long has it been?
I think it's like been a long time. It's like when it
Longer,
was
no?
still quarantine where I was at, like
Whoa.
somewhere May, I think.
Yeah, time just flies by. So yeah, right. Yeah, it was like, yeah, still quarantine time. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad that you got in touch with me. I'm always happy to meet people online
Same.
and
Like, I'm
make
happy to meet
friends.
new people, and especially on since everything is like online now and it's shifting more towards online, then it's a lot easier to have people online.
Mm, it's very true. Yeah, yeah, we got to make the best of it. No, so a lot of people can't travel right now. And yeah, if we can do things, whatever we can do virtually, it's what we can do, you know?
Yeah, so from what I've seen is you actually produce music, right?
Yeah, I produce, I record, write, compose my own music. I collaborate with other artists as well. And mainly I do my own stuff. I also have a home studio, so I do everything at home in my flat. And I record some other artists here as well. Just today, I was working on a collaboration with Pierre XO, which you might know, which I think you know about Pierre.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're doing a song together. He lives in Prague, and yeah, just being a solo artist, independent artist, it's good.
So when did it like start? Were you like, hey, I want to do music?
Yeah, that was actually when I was maybe 9 years old. I wanted to be a car designer, and so I started drawing my own concept cars, and I was super into automobiles. Had lots of magazines, and I was just always drawing in school and at home in my free time. And I wanted to go to when I was like 10. I wanted to go to RISD, which is like Rhode Island School of Design. I already had my plan of where I would go to university, and then I realized, like, damn, uh, when am I going to be able to design a car? It's going to take me a long time to like be able to design a physical car. So I wanted to find something that I could create and see that creation quickly. So I got into music, and I was really inspired by Pharrell Williams and Chad Hugo. They had a production duo called the Neptunes, and they had this band called No One Ever Really Dies. And I was at the time I was a Christian Science. I was a member of the Christian Science Church, and they were, really into metaphysics and everything like this. So I was, learning about, things like eternal spirit and eternal life and stuff like this. So I kind of like, whoa, they don't believe in death as well. I don't believe in death of the soul. So I really identify with these guys, and I was like, I want to do what they do because they agree with me and they have this similar philosophy like I did. So that's how I got into music. Yeah, to make a long story short, I started with
Yeah,
piano classes first, and then I got into production, and yeah.
I also took some piano classes back when I was 15. I stopped for a little while because it was getting a bit overwhelming with school, but
Yeah. Oops,
I
sorry.
want to I want to pick it up again.
Mm, yeah. Piano is really fun. It's great to play any instrument. You just sit there with the instrument. You don't worry about anything else. You just zone out and and become one with the instrument. It's great.
Besides, music also helps your body and your brain function.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I'm learning to play the guitar now, and it's supposed to be very good for your brain and the hand-eye coordination. Yeah, I think it's like my grandmother's learning piano right now for the past like 10 years, and she's older, and it's really good for her, especially for elderly people, to keep their brain training. So I think music is something I will do for, no, I know music is something I'll do for the rest of my life. I love music.
And perhaps we might be able to work together in the future. Maybe
Yeah, that'd be great.
collab.
I heard, yeah, yeah. You told me you work on music too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, like I just started like with a couple of friends. Like we decided, hey, let's try out some beats, let's write our own music because since I was 17 or 16, I wanted to do that. I was
Mm,
like inspired by a couple of people, a couple of artists, and I was like, hey, and because I was also getting poetry at school, I was
nice.
like, so what can I do with this? And I started putting everything together
Mm.
and it sounded good. So perhaps in the future I will continue.
Yeah, you should. I would always advise people to have fun with music, even if it's not something you want to do as a career. It's just a great hobby, and you never know where it'll take you. So it's really fun.
And it
I
can bring
think,
people
yeah,
peace as
yeah, yeah.
well.
Music is it's a great thing. It's the only thing that can really, you can be in a bad mood and put on some music and you're good. Dancing, music, rhythm, all that stuff is just amazing. Even songs that are sad or that are depressive still can put you in a good mood because the rhythm and the beat. And it's kind of like my whole day revolves around music. Music's playing all the time, and I'm sure many people have the same lifestyle, whether it's in their headphones or at the club or whatever.
Yeah, music just gets people hyped up sometimes as well, especially when you're like at a concert, for instance. I saw that you actually had a couple of shows in Prague, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. I perform quite often when the world is normal. So yeah, yeah, yeah. I have I used to just perform by myself, perform just with the DJ and my beats and my vocals, and then I got a band together to play my music live. So I got a guitarist, bass player, drummer, and we basically, we just rock some shows, and that's really fun, to play with the live band and to have other musicians on stage to help, entertain the audience. It takes some pressure off you. If you're just there by yourself, you have to have a lot of energy and you have to really engage with everyone. But when you have the band with you, you got backup. Everybody brings their own personality to the table, their own rhythm, their own sound, and people can. Oh, I like the bass player. I like the drummer. Wow, the vocalist is good, and they get to see all those different things. And this just makes the job a little bit easier while performing. But it's quite difficult having the band because you got to do a lot of rehearsals and you got to do yeah the logistics are insane. You need a car to bring the drum kit, the amplifiers, the cabs, everything. So it
Yeah.
costs money, but it's worth it in a way.
Like you only live once, like why
Yeah,
not make yourself and others happy?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the response you get from people when you perform is amazing. There's nothing that can beat that. When people dance to your music and they feel the energy and you working on a song for many months or even years, and then you play that song for the first time in front of people and they like and it clicks and they vibe with it. That shit is amazing. I love that feeling. That's just like such a good feeling.
Like I listened to Ice Cream, that's like one of your the most recent song you put out, like the
Yeah,
music video. Like I
yeah.
liked it a lot. What was the story behind that actually?
Ooh, that's a good. Like actually, one day I went to go get ice cream. My friend works at a little ice cream shop, but maybe like it was like not this summer, but last summer, and I got the ice cream and for free. And when I went outside, I had it on a cone, and I was looking at the ice cream, and my wife Annie calls me, and I couldn't like handle the phone and the ice cream, so I was trying to like answer the phone, lick the ice cream, and then the fucking ice cream dropped to the ground, and I was just like, I literally started like crying. I was like, yo, and I told her on the phone, I was like, baby, my ice cream dropped. Yeah, and I was just like, damn, yo. And then so when I got home, I was making this beat, and I knew it was gonna be about ice cream, that's why in the song I go, don't let it drip, don't let it drop. So I brought that experience there because I was like, hey, you got some ice cream, you better not let it drip, don't let it drop. You gotta eat it before it melts. It's
Exactly.
hot outside. Got your ice cream. Because I literally in the summer I eat ice cream every day. Like I'm an ice cream fiend. So I had to make a song about ice cream. It's literally like my lifestyle. I love ice cream.
What is your favorite ice cream? Like which flavor?
I like pistachio. That's like my all-time favorite, pistachio. And I'm vegan now, so I eat vegan ice cream or sorbet. It's hard to find pistachio, but there's a place in Prague. There's maybe like two places in Prague that have vegan pistachio ice cream. It's really fucking good with the nuts. I like vegan. I like pistachio ice cream with the pistachios in it. It's got to have pieces of nuts in it. And I like I had a pear flavored ice cream and plum. That was really good. And coconut. Coconut. What about you? What kind you like?
So I both had like regular ice cream and vegan ice cream. I feel when I eat the vegan ice cream, I feel a lot lighter
Yeah.
compared to the other one. Like the other one's like a lot creamier, but like a lot heavier as well. But like my favorite flavors are also like pistachio, chocolate,
Yeah.
hazelnut, and so on. But
Ooh,
I like
hazelnut.
all flavors of ice cream.
Hazelnut is good. I had watermelon ice cream like
Oh,
a few weeks ago, and that was a game changer. I was like, how can you make watermelon so yummy in the ice cream? So good.
it's probably because they're using fresh watermelon because like the
Yeah,
synthetic flavor versus like I like the fresh flavor more
true.
compared to the synthetic flavor. It's like a different kind of flavor.
Exactly. It had this very like light watermelon flavor. It tasted like watermelon, but without like if you extracted all the water and just had the like this light sweet flavor from the watermelon, and it was perfect. It was perfect. Like I'm really into ice. I love. I want to actually. I make ice cream at home. Sometimes I make my own ice cream, and I want to buy an ice cream maker because I usually just do it in the blender with some frozen bananas and some coconut cream and whatever. But I want to get like the proper like ice cream maker, and you can like make your own ice cream. That'll just be amazing.
Funny you mentioned that. When I bought like a little KitchenAid mixer, I bought it with the ice cream maker
Ooh,
attachment that you're supposed to
ooh.
put in the freezer. But
Oh
it's like
yeah,
all the way back at home. Like I'm in Europe now. Like all my stuff is still back where I used to live with
ah.
my family. So
Where are you now? You're in Sweden, or I can't remember.
no, I'm in Holland.
Holland. Okay, you're in Holland. That's right. You're not far. Which city are you in?
I'm in at the moment. I'm like in Amsterdam. I'm
Nice,
I'm gonna
nice,
move soon. To my student apartment.
nice. Yeah, so that's cool. Like we're pretty close. So I'll see each other one day in real life.
Yeah, one
That's,
day when
that's
everything starts to clear a bit up, and I find it a bit of a shame that we can't mention it, or else YouTube will be like, "All right, remove the video."
oh yeah, yeah, that's how they do, huh? Damn.
Fake news.
Oh my God, that's horrible. We have to have a code name for it, huh?
Yeah.
They remove the
Last
video or
time
they just
the
like
people won't be able to find it as easily, but
whoa, wow,
in worst cases, they might actually remove it. Um,
wow.
time I interviewed like a metal band, and they were like, "All right, let's call it the Mexican Beer Company."
Nice, nice. Yeah, the Mexican beer company is so annoying. Like
Yes.
it's really putting a halt to so many businesses. And yeah, like in Prague now there's a lot of restrictions that they just brought up randomly because the numbers are going up going up here. So yeah, so basically everything involving art, entertainment, and service is like done. Like no theater, no strip clubs, no live music, no clubs, restaurants are closed at 8. Um, historical places, for tourists and stuff like this. And also it affects, filming and everything. So, a lot of people are out of work or trying to find new work. I wrote a guy one day. He was really upset about something I posted, and I didn't even respond negatively to him. I just said, "Hey, man, you're
Yeah, it's
entitled to
usually
your
the
opinion. You can unfollow if you want to, but I don't mean any disrespect toward you." And I said, "How you doing?" And he said, "Hey, I'm not doing so good. I don't have any work, so I had to do construction work." And I was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's tough for a lot of people." So he was saying, "How you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm out of work for a while. I got lucky and had some savings, but pretty much like digging into my savings. So."
yeah, that's not good, especially not now, since yeah, it's become a lot harder. And I've
Yeah.
seen like the situation where I lived, and the situation here. It's a bit difficult. Like
Mm,
for a couple of people, they can't sustain themselves anymore, and gas has actually gone up. Like where I used to live in
mm,
South America, like the prices for gas and all of that stuff, like they already had like a lot of problems, and now like because of the Mexican beer company, like extra
yeah.
stuff just uh
Yeah.
f with people. Apparently I
Yeah.
can't swear as well
They,
because you
the whole plan was to create an economic crisis, and this is the perfect tool to create an economic crisis. There,
yes,
there there wasn't an economic crisis, and we have ups and downs in the economy, but there literally was not an economic crisis. They needed to create that, and then they will come up with the solution, and who knows what the solution will be.
I
You
feel
know,
like this
so
is an experiment actually.
yeah, it's definitely. I don't know if it's an experiment or it's already the results of them already experimenting and now they can go with the full plan. I think that this is like small steps, but we've been having these small steps for decades. Now these small steps we're seeing like, oh, people are already very obedient towards the authority of the government. People don't necessarily question their governments, and they don't question the media in masses. So they're very people are already followers. We've been followers for the past 7 years. On Instagram, we
Yeah,
call each other followers. We're no longer leaders, and we're no longer fans of something. So we follow. We literally follow directions, and
yeah.
there's only a small percentage of people who don't want to follow these things, but they're completely outnumbered, and they are the minority, and they'll never be the majority because the people are so subversive. They don't understand what's happening in the world, and they're given positions where they get to tell people who do understand. They get to tell them what to do. So it's a very scary place. I find that this time is like one of the most important times to be very mindful of yourself and of your thinking, and actually, like, it's one of those times where, fuck, if you don't believe in anything, better believe in something right now, because you got to have something to hang on to. you know like, don't want to lose hope during this time period.
I feel like stuff like this has gone on like a lot longer in time, like as far back as the first days of human existence. Like the shift, like it went to the left, it went to the right, like
Mm,
over a period of time. And we're basically in that same situation, but we have different technology now and
yeah,
different ideas compared to humans from the past.
yeah, yeah. Of course, and I think all the problems we have right now as a human race, they don't have to necessarily deal with technology. Like, I mean, we have the technology and the resources to have no problems. The problems we have now have to deal with power, ego, education, and ignorance, and these things lead to people being used and misused, other people being able to manipulate, and then you have the people in the middle who they're small minority, and they either get taken over by people in power or by the people lower, like not lower than them, but people who are ignorant, and these people are in such a big mass that once they are once they have the position to vote and tell you what to do, you're completely outnumbered. So you can be like I totally understand what is happening, but it doesn't matter because there's not really anything I can do as an individual to change
You need a
anything. So
group.
all I can do is control how I respond to things, and what decisions I make. So it's kind of like you have to find your freedom within the system. Uh, you have to find your own freedom within the system. It's kind of like when people go to prison and the first thing they do is like the smart people, they just read lots of books and do so many things with their brain and their mind, and they say, like even though I'm locked in here and here I'm free, and they really do feel free. They are free, but we're looking at them as if they have nothing. They have no freedom, but they've somehow found within themselves some feeling of peace and happiness just inside their own temple. And that's kind of what we are forced to do right now,
I've also noticed like when people go to places and like for instance school or prison, like you said, uh, a hierarchy always forms. Like
Mm,
even if there's like no authority or anything, there's like a hierarchy. Like they were here first. They
mm,
they sort of run stuff and they're mostly looked up to. And then you have like over time, I'm not sure if this is like in like an instinct, like a human instinct, but
mm.
that tends to happen.
Yeah, I think that's natural, and it can be healthy. I think hierarchy can be healthy when it's the qualified people in position. And yeah, you can't just have everyone telling everyone what to do, or yeah, you need some, it's good to have people who are qualified and fair, honest, just. If you have those type of people in power, then a hierarchy is not necessarily a problem. I guess it just becomes a problem when you have inherited a hierarchy, when you didn't necessarily get elected or chosen to operate, or when you cheat to get to that position, or when you fraud or con people to gain positions of hierarchy. Yeah, then you can have the wrong people at the top of the pyramid. But I think within capitalism, yeah, you have this hierarchy in the government, but each individual is able to, I mean, ideally able to make their own something privately. They're able to increase their financial worth. They're able to chase wealth and open a business, get an education, work. They can grow within that society. So not to say that capitalism is the best thing, but I think that like hierarchy is natural. Even when you have people in tribes and stuff, you have some hierarchy. But
Like in a way, people have like their own task in like a group, for instance, like
mm,
who does what based off of their skills. And I feel that's natural, and especially since back when humans were still primitive, that was a lot necessary to protect us from predators, for instance, or
mm,
other creatures that might harm us.
true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, everyone should do what they do best. We each have different skills bestowed upon us, and it's good to use to do what we're good at, And I think in an ideal society, people will be able to do what they are good at, and society will still be able to function. Um, but maybe I'm too utopian, but yeah, I don't know. I think that like now we live in the time where everyone wants to be not everyone, but a lot of people want to be somebody and want to be like known,
They
especially in
want
the
to seek
West.
fame.
Yeah, yeah, people want to have fame, and that's kind of fucked up our society because everyone is so much into themselves. They are kind of ignorant to what's happening when it comes to like politics, and they're kind of ignorant to what's happening when it comes to economics, and you see it about like what people want to study in school. A lot of times people choose these like, not to say they're ridiculous, but things they choose some majors that are totally useless and maybe a waste of their money, but they want to learn this because they think this is a cool thing for them to learn. And that's good, but what about the things that make the world go round? Like what about learning, understanding the things that make the world go round? I studied economics, and like, for many years I was like, oh, why did I study that? Even though I don't use economics, I'm a musician. I still understand the basics of economics. Not even the basics. I understand how,
Like it
how
helps.
yeah. So when I see things happening like right now, as an economist, I see the stupidity in it because
You
you can't
understand it now.
yeah, you can't have a healthy functioning economy with what's going on right now. So when somebody tells me like, oh, this is we need this, I'm like, no, no, this is actually not what we need. You're just there seeing things just from a perspective of fear and a perspective of safety. They want to be safe and feel safe, and they give up their rights to feel safe. And also from a spiritual perspective, it's totally wrong. Like spiritually, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to like do things out of fear. You're not supposed to do things just to, in my opinion, not just to feel safe. No, you're supposed to have faith and do things with trust and with confidence, and act out of these negative things. So yeah, and from the economic perspective, it's like, all right, what are you going to do when people don't have work, when people have to find new jobs, when people have to quit their careers, close their businesses? How's that going to affect the economy in 10 years? What are going to be the results? At what cost? And if the common young person understood these things, they wouldn't be so obedient toward their governments and toward these organizations that are advising the government to do these things, because they would be like, hey, no, 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 we don't agree with this. This is not how it's supposed to happen. And then we would have majority people, standing up for what's right and not just being complicit and conforming. But yeah,
It's always good to know how something works. Yes,
exactly.
definitely.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's like when I look at the older generations, the technology wasn't speeding as fast as it is for us. So my wife's dad, he knows how to fix his car. He knows the general workings of his automobile. We have this technology now. I don't know how the fuck my phone is made. Like most of us wouldn't be able to open our phones and fix it, but if you had something in your apartment maybe 20 years ago that was broke, you could probably just pull out a couple of tools and fix it on your own, or call your friend who know how to fix it. So it's like we have so much technology, and it's speeding up at such a fast rate. Our brains are not really keeping up with what it does, what it means, and what's happening. And then not even the physical technology. We have, the software, the AI, and these things, which most of us don't understand and have no clue how to create or how to manipulate. But there's a small majority of people who are very young who know and understand these things and who own these companies. And they're also tied in with the decisions that the world is making with the lockdowns and everything. So it's kind of it's literally the most unique thing in history that I can think of, in the modern history, what's happening right now, and we're witnessing it. So it's interesting to say the least. My dad always
Yeah.
told me we live in interesting times.
When I was like a kid, my dad always told me like watch the news, see what's going on, and Now, as I'm getting a lot older, and I realize, hey, I can get my information from many more sources, I've like realized things like how people say wasn't really that that wasn't really reality. I started
Mm.
listening to like everybody's perspective, and I was like, why do they differ?
Yep, yep.
So I found
Yeah,
that quite interesting.
yeah, people are more, it's either that people are more divided right now, or we just see it more because everybody has a place to put their voice. Everybody has a platform to express themselves. So I'm not sure if, I feel like people are a bit more divided, but it could also be the result of people being able to express themselves. So people see other people's opinions, and if they disagree, they can be more and more defensive and defensive of what they believe in, and they have to be louder and louder about it because they see that this person and a lot of these people feel this way, so they need to like, they clash, you know.
Yeah. And especially now, since more people, their culture and stuff like that, it's coming online, and people
Mhm.
start to see that because some places have more of like a homogenous culture, they may be considered a bit insensitive towards someone else. So you have this like situation going on. I've seen it like on TikTok a lot, and people responding to other people, and people who saw that and did something that they didn't know was insensitive to someone else.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. You got to be really careful on TikTok. You know, this like TikTok is a really crazy application because there's a lot of young people on it, and you know, a lot of people bully each other on TikTok and say really mean things to each other, and they're really young. And you know, my wife has TikTok, and sometimes she gets these really negative comments, and she looks at the profiles, she write them, and they're, you know, 12-year-old kids, 11-year-old kids, which I get. You know, kids are young, they make mistakes, but at the same time, imagine if they're saying these things to like people their age. You know, it's just another thing for people to deal with, and it's sucks
Yeah.
because you can't confront that person. There's nobody to protect you. You know, you might be there. Your parents might not know what they're saying to you, and you might get in some really horrible conversation with somebody at a low period in your day or in your week or in your life. Or and ugh. So I'm like happy that I didn't have these things when I was young.
It's like usually this stuff affects us when we're already like in a bad mood. Then we
Yeah.
sometimes tend to like ignore our common sense because we're like all drained and a bit tired. And when we see something like that, it just like infuriates us sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
But like the thing with these children, there was like a lot of discussion about it actually. Like the fact that these young kids are on social media, uh,
Mm.
places that adults also use. And I feel that that's a bit harmful to the mental health of the children because like 6 or 7 year olds don't really they can know a lot like facts and stuff, but what if there's like this person they look up to that tells them, hey, come on, let's go to this place, this address, but they don't really know them.
Yeah,
Like to
yeah. It's
like,
I like personally for me, I would I wouldn't want, if I had kids, and I'm a bit harsh, I wouldn't want my children to be on social media until maybe like 16, 17. And it's maybe a bit strict, but the type of shit that can happen there, it's crazy because even if you have like, all right, your kids have a smartphone, you know, kids know how to use their phones better than their parents. They know how to open up shit, hide stuff. You know, there's not really that many ways that most parents can monitor what their kids are seeing on the internet and what their kids are seeing on their phones. I know of. Maybe there's some like locks and stuff you can put on the kid's phone, but you know, kids are pretty tech savvy, so they know how to get around these things.
yeah.
And I think that like, you know, yeah, you can't control your child when they're at school. You don't know what's going to happen, but at least you know that they're under supervision. There's teachers there, there's administrators there, you know, there's cameras there, there's other people. So if something happens, you know that somebody might have seen something or whatever. But on the internet, you don't know what's happening, and there can be a lot of crazy things, you know. Like there was this one thing in Russia. My wife told me about. She's from Russia, and there was this like basically through this I think it was Kontaktia, it's this Russian Facebook um, website, and there was like this group, and it was a group of people that were like getting kids to be suicidal. So they would like give kids these challenges to kill themselves, and it was just totally wicked. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really famous, and hundreds of kids fell prey to this.
Is it like blue whale or something? That's probably
Yeah,
something.
that
Yeah, a
thing, the
blue
blue
whale.
whale. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
like
you
I've
heard about
been
this?
following these stories from like other YouTubers for a while now, and it's like gone on for like longer than a few years actually, and especially since these young impressionable children are online. Like they can say, "All right, when I see this, I know exactly what to do," but when you're so caught up in it, you don't realize what you're doing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
children tend to fall prey to that,
Mm,
and
yeah,
especially
yeah.
like online, like younger people, they can get good information from online, like stuff that might
Mm,
actually help them, but to have access to stuff like this, to chat with certain kind of people, I find that dangerous, and
yeah.
some of these message to the mental health of younger children, and that they might actually develop some issues later on in life.
Yeah, yeah, you can, and also like online dating, you know, like when I was a kid, we didn't have Facebook and everything. We just had like AOL chat and stuff like this. But like, you know, they had these chat rooms and other young kids, and you would go there and you try to find someone to talk to or some girl you might like, and you don't know who's talking with you on the other end. Like I think several times it was probably some creepy dude disguising himself as a young person talking with me when I was like I don't know 12 or 13 on the internet and it was always just like I was into it because I didn't have like any experience. I didn't have any girlfriends or anything. So if I found someone online as a kid and I made some, you know, some kind of online relationship with them, that was like for me, it was like something special, you know. But looking back at it, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm glad I didn't like do anything stupid, like meet someone or, you know, like
Yeah.
who knows what it could have happened. But in my brain, I would be willing to do anything. I was so desperate to have some type of companionship with a girl when I was, you know, a young adolescent or even prepubescent. And so on the internet, it was just like, oh, I want to find someone. Maybe I'll fall in love. You know, you have these like crazy thoughts as a kid that like anything is possible. And yeah, so I don't know, you know, I don't have any, you know, siblings that I can talk to about those things and ask them what. And I have younger brothers in the States, but I've been here for so long, so I don't know how they use the internet. But maybe they wouldn't tell me because I'm so much older than them that they might think I might tell my dad what they tell me. So I have to ask them, you know, when I meet them like what like because I asked them, I said, you got Instagram? And they were like, no. And I was just like, Snapchat, TikTok, nothing. They were like, no. I was like, damn, you guys are cool. Maybe you don't have all this crazy shit. But maybe they're just telling it to me because my dad was on the other, you know, on the video
Yeah.
call. And they were like, oh shit, don't tell Jared, he'll snitch on us. I would totally snitch on them too. But like, dad, they got TikTok. Take their phones.
Like my dad, he knows that I have all of this stuff, like all of these accounts and stuff online.
Yeah,
He actually helped me set up some of these when I was
yeah,
like a lot younger, because he was like, you need this stuff for like school, so it might be a lot easier. And
yeah.
so he actually helped me to understand all of this, and I'm really like grateful for that, because not everybody has like someone to guide them through all of this.
Mhm.
And it's a scary world online. People can
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
do anything, and unless you know your way around it, you can't really find out who it is.
Yep. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, you know.
So I also saw that you model in your
Yeah, yeah,
pictures on
I
your
do.
Instagram.
I do how I make money. You know, one of my forms of income. in Prague is I do commercials. I do TV commercials because a lot of companies basically film in Czech Republic because it's very cheap for them. So productions come here from all around the world, from US, from France, from UK, from Germany, even from some Asian countries, and they shoot here. Um, so there's castings and stuff. I do some acting. I've done many commercials. Maybe like I don't know. I've done at least like 20 commercials in my life, maybe 25. And then I do photo shoots, modeling, catalogs, campaigns, stuff like this. Um, and I also do some acting. I did maybe like 12 episodes on one soap opera here. It's a very famous soap opera in Czech Republic. It's called Ulice, and I played an American character on the show. And then I even did one Christmas film. I play like an elf on one Netflix film coming out hopefully this winter. It's supposed to come out. It's called A Boy Called Christmas. I have a really small role there, but I have some lines, and it was my first movie, so I was very excited about that. So yeah,
Oh my god.
that's how I make my ends meet over here. I do that, and that I don't do it often. You can get a few drops here and there, and it's pretty decent money, so that it gives me the freedom to work on my music career. And then I also teach English. I teach like 4 classes a week, part time. Just maybe usually it's from October till May, and I teach Russian and Ukrainian and Kazakh students English at this one school, and that's really fun because I love talking to people. I love being in front of people. I like to teach, and all the students are from the ages of 17 to 20, so they are young adults, and it's cool. It's easy work and fun work, and they like me as a teacher. The school
You're a
really
cool
likes me.
teacher.
Yeah, I'm the cool teacher. And the school is really chill. They know that I'm a musician, that I do modeling, acting. So anytime I have a job or a gig, I just tell them before and they find a substitute. And they're not so conservative. They don't care how I dress, or, they're happy that I can relate to the students. The students respect me and they look up to me, and it's good. Yeah, it's really fun. I'm very thankful for this job as well, because like right now there's not a lot of opportunities for the commercials and modeling because most of the borders are closed, or stuff happens and they have to shut down a commercial last minute. I had like maybe 3 or 4 jobs that got canceled last minute, and so I'm happy for this teaching job because it's going to give me some stable income a bit during this time period. um and hopefully things will get better, but I don't know how things will go. Yeah.
All right.
What about you? So you're studying, what are you studying again?
I'm studying biomedical sciences. It
Ooh,
it wasn't my first choice. I actually wanted to go like for medicine, like to study medicine. I wanted to
yeah,
become a doctor, but because of the whole Mexican beer company,
yeah.
the test got canceled last minute. Like
Mm,
I got the first round, but then the second round was supposed to be like a test, and I like studied like 3 months for that test, and then I
mm,
see, oops, no, canceled. And then the other ones who got like the highest score during the first round, those actually got in. And I'm here like,
mm.
what the F, man? Like,
Um,
seriously?
so can you switch studies later on, or can
Yes,
you?
I
Oh,
can.
that's
Like,
good.
after I'm done with biomedical sciences, I have the opportunity to switch.
Nice.
But to be honest, uh, I'm I'm not so sure if I want to do medicine anymore. I'm gonna see like after 3 years because
Mm,
I I actually miss doing stuff like with how am I supposed with engineering. Like
that's cool. I mean, I think that's a good thing to study. You won't be out of a job with this study,
no.
especially now. So that's good. I think you made a good decision. And you're starting your
Yeah, like
first year, or is it your
yeah,
first
this
year?
is my first year.
That's awesome. Wow, that's exciting.
Like the college life, I was expecting something different like
Mm,
before the whole thing happened. Um I was looking forward to coming to Holland, experiencing like the life here, parties and stuff. And then all of
Yeah.
this happened, and I'm like, what the frick, man? Like,
What's it
seriously?
like in Holland? Like, is stuff shut down or what?
Stuff isn't shut down. Like the rules weren't that, like, how am I
Not
supposed to
strict,
explain this? Like, it
wasn't
wasn't
so
that
strict there.
bad.
Mm.
It got worse. Like, now people have to wear more face masks and stuff.
So it's something like here they started to
Yeah.
increase the restrictions. Yeah, yeah. So summer was kind of free. Were you there in the summer or no?
No, I wasn't here in the summer. I was still
Uh,
back at home. And back at home, this is interesting. There was literally a month or like a week where we had to go outside, but
yeah.
according to our family name, like our last name. Like if it was
Whoa.
like Monday, uh like people with the family name like the letter A,
Whoa.
and like for instance,
Wow. That's interesting. Oh my God. What?
and
Wow.
then was like lockdown from 6 p.m. to like 6 a.m.
Ooh,
and you
that's
couldn't go
really
out at
tight.
night.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Damn.
With
So
my
it was
friend
really tight.
Rohit, he's like,
Things
things
got a
got a
little
little
better.
better
Okay, that's
here.
good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's good news.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm preparing for a pretty wild winter, but I'm just like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm just gonna keep my head straight. I started like meditating more, reading my spiritual books, writing my affirmations, and just like I'm just gonna coast through this. Just gonna do what I gotta do and make sure everybody around me is good. And yeah, like we've been here, we make a like a little house party every weekend, and we just get our friends together, like because all the bars and shit are closed from 8. So we're like, fuck that. We're gonna have our people come and just get. Yeah, we don't want to not socialize with people because that's what we do. We're human. So yeah, we do that every weekend, and yeah, if any, I think like if anything would go so bad, I have so much, so many, not so many, but I have the right number of really close friends here that we would support each other. But I don't think it will get that bad. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good right now to like, I'm thankful that I'm not alone, that I have, people around me who are the similar frequency and similar mindset. And that is just gonna like take me a long way because I noticed during the first lockdowns here, I noticed like at the garbage cans was just tons and tons of empty alcohol bottles, and a lot of people became, a lot of people gained bad habits, and
Yeah, because you lose that sense of routine in your life. Like,
yeah,
the routine is what keeps you going, is that pressure. And when you're just stuck in a small room with lots of food and
yeah,
alcohol, you're just gonna like turn to that, and it's not
yeah,
healthy for anyone.
yeah. That's why I'm like, people got to be very mindful of their decisions and of what they think, what's going in and out of their head, people around them, and just do all the things what you can do to be positive, because that's all you really can do. You don't want to, they want you to deteriorate, they want you to panic, they want you to fall off your equilibrium, and you can't allow that to happen. You still have that control over yourself, and nobody can ever take that away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like now, especially now, meditation, it really helps calm a person down and help you gather your thoughts and think a lot more rationally, because you have
So,
like that little moment where
mhm.
you can like just relax and just think. even though
Yeah.
all the stuff is going on around you. You can still collect yourself.
Yeah. I took like I wasn't doing it so consistently as I was a few years ago, and now I'm back to it and also trying to like reorganize myself. I had basically to I have to reorganize my whole music career because I can't do live shows. Um, I can still film stuff. I can still put out content. So I'm just like, okay, I need to figure out how to put out more content more often. So I got some collaborations going on. Uh, Want to do some stuff with other artists, and I'm filming the next music video. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on putting good content out right now, and that's all I can do. I'm not gonna quit, but I gotta see what I can do. And I'm not really so into doing like this, this online concerts and this shit. Not really my thing because I didn't really get into music to like play for people from a distance. I like to be up
Yeah.
close and personal. I don't like to social distance. So yeah, so I'm just like, all right, what can I do? Just put out content, and then maybe once I will want to play again, I'll have to like organize these kind of like private concerts or jam sessions or something. I got friends here who still organizing stuff in venues that are like secret, and I think like as humans, this is what we'll have to resort to until things are totally open because I mean, people rebel, and that's
Yeah.
just human nature, especially when they're being wronged. Like you have like in the United States when you had the prohibition period, people were making their own alcohol, having these speakeasies, making these private illegal clubs, and that's what they had to do. Like, yeah, it was illegal, but it was something that was not supposed to be legal. It was legal once, and then they made it illegal on a whim. So I get this form of rebellion, and I think it's necessary because we don't want to be like fucking. I don't want to be like some kind of drone. I'm not a drone, I'm not a robot. I'm an individual. We're all equal. Nobody
Yeah.
is nobody is better than me, and I'm not better than anybody. So yeah, I think people are gonna have to like even the bars and stuff. In my opinion, I think that the bars and restaurants in these places, like they're scared to get these fines, but they have to pay their bills, have to pay their waiters and waitresses. They still have to pay their rents. They're not going to be able to. So I feel like these people really have to like get
They have
together
to
and say,
take risks.
yeah, they have to say, fuck this. We're gonna do what we have to do because nobody's gonna take away our livelihood. Like if you're when it comes to survival mode, you're not gonna allow someone to stop you from feeding or from thriving. And if you're in a fucking wilderness, like you're not gonna allow someone to do that. Just say, hey, you can only pick this many fucking bananas. Like you're gonna be like, no, but I got this many mouths to feed, so fuck you. I'm gonna go or plant some more. Like that's a bad example, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah,
nobody's gonna put
I
a
get you.
fucking cap on what you can and can't do, especially if you're not doing anything wrong. So I feel like, people got to really say, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to stand up collectively because, the government and these little enforcers are such a small number of people, and their families too. There are people too. Like, come on, they want to go to a restaurant too. They want to go to a bar and a
Exactly.
trip. Like, so if we're going to let the bureaucracy and little enforcers control the masses, then it says something about humanity that maybe we didn't deserve the fucking freedom in the first place. So that's what I'm on, but I'm here in Czech Republic. I'm not a citizen here. I don't want to like, cause any craziness here. So it's up to the people here what they're gonna do with their government. If they're gonna
Yeah.
protest or if they're gonna like, figure out some way out of this. And it's up to the people in many countries. But everyone is scared. So
Same here. I also have my own views and stuff, but I'm not gonna like put out videos where I'm saying like, "Hey, don't do this, don't do that," or something like that,
the
uh, against like the government or anything, because they're just gonna like ship me back to wherever I came from,
yeah, yeah.
and I
I
at
mean, you
least
should be
want
able
to.
to. You should be able to say whatever the fuck you want. But with
Yeah.
platforms like Tube View, you gotta like, you can't say certain things. You might be inciting violence.
Yeah, like words don't have any power unless you put actions behind them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you're basically using their tools against them. It's like they put words out that result in actions.
Yeah.
Fear mongering and all these things result in actions. They resulted in actions and policies. So it's just the same tactics. Just one is for a different reason and a different purpose. But yeah,
And I just feel like stuff like entertainment now just it at least brought us a little more sanity. If we just didn't have all of this stuff, we'd probably just like be staring at a wall in our own houses.
yeah, that could be true. I think like, I mean, at first I was like happy for the entertainment, but then I realized that the entertainment is actually a kind of distraction, because I remember when the lockdowns first happened, I don't know if I can say it here, but this one adult website gave free membership to everyone, and they were like, "Yeah, you got
Yellow
quarantine,
YouTube.
so here you go." And people were like, "Woohoo, that's awesome!" And I was thinking, been like, "Bro, like, you know how desensitizing that is? It's like you can't go out, so here, spend all your time like doing stuff
Watching
to
this type of
yourself,
stuff.
and that's supposed to be productive, like." And then Netflix like, yeah, watch us. I'm like, yeah, you can watch a little bit of Netflix, but hey, like, is that gonna like bring you peace and well-being? Just spending your time being entertained, you know? What forms of entertainment? There's good forms of entertainment, and then there's forms of entertainment that are not so productive in large amounts. I think things like music and this can be fine, but sticking your face watching
Yeah,
just a
like
bunch of
learning new
series like I
skills.
do. Exactly.
Like learning
That's
new
hard
skills
to
will
do.
help you
It
in the end.
takes discipline.
Yeah.
And I think the easy way out is just to say, oh, I can just spend time doing this, doing that. I remember the first, yeah, when we had the quarantine, it was like, yeah, the first week or 2 weeks was like, yeah, super productive, woohoo, yeah, right. And then I was just like, I feel like fuck this, like I feel like I'm forced to be inside. So I just ended up not doing anything for like a month or 2 months. I wasn't really productive. I was supposed to work on an album and it was just going so slowly. But one of the reasons why was just like I just felt like not inspired when I not that I couldn't, but when I was not recommended to go outside and meet people and this and that. So I just like didn't have the inspiration to like put toward my music. So it's like I need freedom to do music. Freedom is a part of music, and you know I feel like it's hard to it's hard for many people to figure out what to do with this time period and how to make the best out of it when it's not something that is natural for us. Um, I don't think any of these things are natural for us as
No.
humans.
We adapted to like a different environment back then.
Yeah.
So and now since stuff has changed in this way, we can't really connect with it. We can connect with it, but it's a bit we're not built for it. We're not built for it. And that's the
Yeah.
reason why I started this channel to give my because we weren't doing anything back then. So I wanted to give myself some routine.
Mm.
Hey, let me go out and talk to people. Let me see who's doing something, who is like actually motivated, and maybe we can talk together and talk to people, and maybe they'll be motivated to do something. So that's why I started all of this.
I'm just gonna
Because
close my window really quick. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you started your channel. I mean, it's good. Good to start new things.
Because I wasn't doing anything. I was just like laying in bed all day, eating snacks, watching cartoons.
Yeah, that was totally me at some point. That was totally me. I bet.
and I had so much art stuff to do, and I didn't use any of it. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Yep, I totally feel you. It's tough, you know. It's tough. It's easy to do. It's easy to just not do nothing. You know, that's the easiest thing. It's hard to be like, all right, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna learn something new. You know.
like
Uh,
it's the pressure of like a deadline and something and time that actually pushes
yeah.
you to do stuff. Because if you'd had like all the time in the world, all everything, you'd always say, all right, let me do it tomorrow, but you wouldn't really go and do it. You'd just be like, all right, let me just watch 50 episodes of this Netflix show,
Binge watch
and just
Netflix.
binge watch Netflix and eat all the food and all the unhealthy snacks I can eat.
Yummy. Make
And then you look at yourself and you're like,
what am I
what did I
doing
do
with
to
my life?
myself? What happened?
What happened to me? I let myself go.
I'm gonna go live. Miqi?
Oh, sorry. Let's press my computer. Yeah.
So now we've you told me about this new platform called Cinnamon, and I recently put a few of my videos up on there.
Nice. Yeah,
Um,
Cinnamon is basically a new platform, new video platform that's not trying to replace YouTube, but be kind of a, you know, have different features that don't exist on YouTube. And basically, they're not going to be, you know, censoring like YouTube does, um, as far as, you know, views politically and things like this. You know, these basic things like you have free speech there. Of course, you're not going to have adult content there, you know, for, you know, like uh, graphic content, like as far as like adult, you know, adult content goes, it's not like that. But as far as expressing yourself, yeah, it's free there. And basically, you get paid per view, a small fraction of $1, but it's like per 1,000 views. I can't remember the number, but it's like a pretty like there's like a fixed pay rate. You don't have to have a certain amount of viewers or views or subscribers to start making content or getting paid, monetizing your content on the platform. And you can also split your payments for each video for up to 100 different people. So let's say you worked with a director or worked with an editor or worked with someone on some video, or you wanted to give some of the payments to a charity, you can automatically fix that
yeah.
in the app, which is totally new. It doesn't exist on YouTube, as far as I know. And there's also with the mobile app, you're able to like edit, and you're able to edit things you watch. So anyone can edit any video. So let's say you make a video and I like 15 seconds of your video that I want to upload to my Instagram, or that I want to upload to my TikTok. I can just like in real time take that and just do whatever I want with the edit, and then edit it, upload it to my whatever, or I can repost it on Cinnamon, and then I can also make that's also monetizable. So the editor gets some fraction of that re-edit, and then you also still keep making money on the edited footage. So it's really interesting, and they're getting lots of investment. They're now approaching
I saw
investors.
it. I liked it.
Yeah, and I just uploaded one thing there. I gotta start uploading content there. Uploaded one video. I'm gonna upload like all my archive music videos there. Um, and yeah, I'm really excited for this new app, because I was hoping something would come out that would topple YouTube or compete with it, or just be an alternative. You know, I feel like it sucks that everything is here,
I
you know.
feel this might actually start to compete with it, because like also like stuff like the upload speed, and
Yeah.
it's not like YouTube, but it's like really close, like really
Yeah, the
close.
upload was fine. I mean, I uploaded something that was pretty quick. It was maybe like 10 minutes. I mean, I uploaded
Yeah.
a big video, and it was like it takes a long time on YouTube to upload like 4K footage as well.
So before you know it, it's gonna beat out YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. I think it won't like necessarily beat out YouTube, but it'll be like another
A
platform. The
competitor,
goal of the
yeah.
platform was like I met the owner, and he had like a basically like kind of a not a, I guess kind of like a presentation of the app and of the company, and his goal is he really wants to um, give content creators a fair chance at making money with their content. And he felt like these other platforms were pretty much just robbing content creators. And he seemed very passionate about it. So the whole idea is about, trying to bring quality content creators to the app. And this is like where you can shine, where basically he wants to say like, okay, as a content creator, you are able to, make your income here. And this is what you do. This is what you do for a living. This is a service you provide people, and people watch and are entertained by what you provide them. And this is the place where you can make the most from what you do. And I think that that's a really cool approach. I hope that he stays consistent with that, because I believe him. And I really think he's really real about it. And to make these apps is really difficult. They have their own AI team. They have, they've invested millions of dollars. They have to get more investors. Right now, they're just focusing on getting content. So if you're a content creator and you want to start somewhere fresh, you can get started there before anyone else is. And that'll be great, So they need to show the investors that they have a variety of content, and they're going to start getting users as time grows and as they keep investing more money, because it's really hard to compete with big guys like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Like people say, oh, I want to make an app. Like when you make an app, like you gotta put your life into it, basically. Like this guy doesn't sleep. He told me he cries at least 4 times a week, and he wasn't joking about it. I could really see that he cries, But I was like, he looked like one of these like, nerdy guys who just really into it, and he's young. And I was like, man, this is gonna be big, And I was so happy to see that it's happening in Czech Republic. It's coming out of Czech Republic, and that is beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. So I really recommend any of your viewers to go check out
Cinnamon
Video,
Pod.
cinnamon.video. And you have to sign up with Coil. You can sign up with Coil for free, but the way the app will make money is that like people pay $5 a month for Coil to see like the special Cinnamon content, and then that money is basically divided for those views. So, but you can also watch content on Cinnamon without having a username or an account on the Cinnamon. Some of the content is basically classified to be for everyone to view, so it's open like that. But I think it'd be something cool. I think people are looking for something new. I think both the viewers and the content creators at YouTube are quite tired of the censorship and the demonetization, the flagging, and these things are like, when stuff is censored, it's not cool anymore. When you're not getting raw content, loses its value. And I think that that's where YouTube is messing up, and that's where another player is able to come in and take a certain market share, because they're fucking up there, So yeah, and there's gonna be new social media applications. There's one app called New Life. It's like a social media app for fashion, photography, and art, and it's decentralized. It's also made by someone in Czech Republic. They are from France, but they live here. And yeah, this app is cool. Check out New Life, newlife.ai, and that's a really cool app. You don't have any followers or likes. It's just like you show how much you like something by holding it, and then that like shows how much you like it. And then you have like rankings. So like each viewer has a ranking depending on how often they interact with the app and how much people like their content. So it's actually another really interesting app, and it's all done here. He does everything by himself with their team members, and he has his own AI. And yeah, there's a lot of new stuff coming out, and it's gonna be totally different. There's gonna be more. There's gonna be more selection. I think there's gonna be more selection. I think like as we see, that you have more selection of music and stuff like this, there's gonna be more selection of which platform do you want to use for social media, where do you want to upload your videos, where do you want to like show your content. That I think is gonna change, because these companies are getting these companies are getting so big and so powerful, and they're using their power in a way that many people don't like. And then you have people who are really smart and savvy, not necessarily in Silicon Valley, not in America. They know how to program, they know how to do AI, and they're making their own program. They're making their own AI. They got their own teams. So what are you gonna do? These guys are gonna make their shit from wherever they are, and they can do it. Um, so yeah, it's becoming interesting, and I think it's gonna be for the betterment of everything. You know,
because these companies aren't like located in like Silicon Valley and stuff like that. They have like other rules necessarily that they have to follow, like other
yeah,
guidelines.
other rules, less. I think they have less control. They might have less, influence from the government. I mean, when they get really big, I mean, different things happen. I mean, you see like what happened with TikTok. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be like a big portion of the U.S. portion of it will be sold to the United States, still be controlled. I think still be owned by China, a certain portion of it, but it's going to be controlled by a U.S. parent company. It's a fucking really complicated business deal, and I don't know the inner workings of it. I
Yeah.
was reading about it, but it's so complex to see like when these apps get this big and when they become publicly shared or publicly traded companies, who gets to control them, who gets to take the data, who owns it. These things get very complex. But I think when these apps are starting outside of U.S. jurisdiction, um, who knows what the possibilities are, and I guess they won't know what they'll have to do until they get really, really, really big. I mean, you still have people like, Snapchat never sold. I think Snapchat never sold itself, even though it was offered billions. Um,
Yeah.
what the rules are for Snapchat. I guess Snapchat is not as big as it was. I'm not sure. I'm not really on it, so I don't know how big it is.
Like Snapchat like did get a lot bigger, but I don't really like hear stuff about like communities or stuff
Mm,
coming from Snapchat. It's more of like I feel like entertainment from other places is just being placed on Snapchat,
yeah.
but anything new, I'm not really seeing that.
Yeah.
It's more of a fun app to use to send like pictures. Like people do use it a lot, like to streak and stuff, but I personally don't let like using Snapchat.
Mm,
So
It's
check it
fun
out.
for filters,
mm,
but I don't
yeah.
really like go on there like a
I
lot.
haven't
I'm
used it in
more on
years.
Instagram actually.
Yeah, Instagram is becoming, even though it's owned by Facebook, it's becoming like the Facebook. It's becoming like
Yes.
the serious app, the business app. It's like the political app, the business app, it's no longer just a place where people will just like have
Facebook just
fun.
feels like for older people now. Like
Yeah,
because
Facebook is for older, but now
most
Instagram is also like kind of
yeah.
like that. Instagram, like now TikTok is for younger people, but it's like I mean every year the younger people are becoming the older people, so
Yes.
they'll
And
go to
like
Instagram.
because most of like the people I know are like on Facebook, like
Mm,
the younger generation from where I used to live. It's like they're all on Facebook. Like the moment you start adding people, you enter like this little community, this little world,
mm,
and
yeah,
some of the stuff I've seen on that like in that Facebook community and stuff is terrifying,
yeah,
but it's also where some of my friends hang out, and I saw like their mindset and the way they think. Like they're very progressive, and that's what I do like. But I've seen usually like it's the older generation who have certain strong views on stuff that I'm like
mm.
a bit. I'm just back away from that. I don't want to get into that discussion like on
Oh yeah,
Facebook.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to like discuss these things on Facebook. You never find any common ground with most people. But even in person, some of these older old people from the older generation, they much just don't understand things the same way. They didn't have the same technology. They don't have the same experiences. So it's like,
Besides that, it's usually just the internet is full of trolls. You can't really take everything seriously on the internet.
yeah, that's true. That's facts. Yeah, internet is like Yeah, it's an interesting place.
Like once you start worrying too much or like stressing out about stuff, then
Mm.
they have you basically. They're like, haha, it,
Yeah,
yeah. It's just like it's better to like look at it like, all right, you probably like said something mean and stuff, but I don't really care. Like once
yeah.
you look at it like that, it doesn't really like affect you as much. But
Mm.
where I start to kind of look at it a bit like, okay, like the cancel culture thing, like if you like started a business on online, like a personal brand and stuff like that, and you have like people who they don't agree with you, but they start to gather like a bunch of people to in a way ban you off
Mm.
of the internet, so that
Mm.
if you like start a different account or anything like that, they'll try to take you down. That is what I do disagree with. There is where I draw the line. Like
Yeah, I don't like cancel culture. Cancel culture is it's
it's just
really
like
it takes away the human ability to be forgiven and to grow and to change and to evolve. It's saying like, hey, I'm not even going to give you a chance to grow. I'm not even going to like educate you, correct you. I'm just going to shut you down, and there's no coming back from that. I'm not even going to accept your apology or accept your. I'm not even going to offer my forgiveness. That's why even though I'm not like old school, I do feel like there are certain things that I learned from being in different religions that are just applicable to the life now that just allowed me to see the world differently because when I look at cancel culture, I'm not Christian, I'm spiritual, but I grew up. My dad was Muslim, my mom was Christian, and one of the things I learned, it's like forgiveness. So like I'm not gonna let someone just like beat me up and then like be their best friend the next day. But there's certain things that I can't hold you like I'm not gonna like beat you down for something you said 5 years ago. I'm not gonna like take away your livelihood, your job, how you feed your kids, I'm not going to say you don't deserve to have that just because you said something that I don't agree with or that you said something racist or offensive. Like, okay, you said something like this, cool. I'm not going to support you, but I'm not going to galvanize the whole world against you, like when it comes to like TV shows or when they cancel some show, I'm like, but that's one person who did something. What about everyone else on the show who survived from that? What about the writers, directors, the actors? You gonna just cancel that just because this guy said that? I mean, he's not just the only person. Or some musicians, they say, "Oh, I'm canceling him." I'm like, "Yo, but it's like, did you wait till all the facts come out? Did you wait till the case is done? What happened to innocent until proven guilty?" So, I mean, the court of public opinion now is just like uncontrollable, and that decides how people view certain things. Like there was one case, right now with the thing with Tory Lanez shooting Megan, what's her name, Megan the
Megan Thee
Stallion foot.
Stallion.
And the first thing I saw, like, I was like, this sounds crazy. I was like, did this even like happen? Like, I said, why would
Yeah,
he
she
shoot
sounded
her in the
off.
foot? So, and I'm not gonna say anyone's right or wrong, but my first instinct isn't to say, oh, f Tory Lanez. I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to his music now because he shot Megan. No, they're going to court. They have a judiciary process. We're gonna find out when the facts are there what happened, and they're gonna give their verdict of what happened. For all I know, anything could have happened. I don't know. So why I'm gonna go and assume and tell all my friends and be, especially when I'm a person of influence, like somebody who has millions of followers, to go there and say, hey, cancel Tory Lanez. So you want to like take away his music money, you want to take away his job. He's got kids. You don't want them to be fed. You don't want this. Come on, like wait till the case is gone, and wait till you see what happens before you make your decision of like how you're gonna treat that person. At least wait. So, but then like I look at cancel culture as like, yo, like I've made mistakes. I mean, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't physically assault or sexually assault anybody. But I'm not a perfect person, so I didn't do anything that I'm gonna go to prison for. But what if I did one thing that's just politically incorrect or just you know, does that result in me being canceled? Does that mean that I'm not like, worthy of feeding myself, surviving? So I think this cancel culture
Yeah.
is like it's like saying that you are holier than someone else, that you have this moral high ground, and
You're
how
just
dare they?
gambling.
I'm like, that's not like godly or holy or moral at all. Like from what I understand is, not to judge other people, not to forgive other people. I'm not gonna forget what you did, but I'm not gonna like let this affect me. I'm gonna like move on, say maybe, hey, I wish you the best. I hope you can grow from this. Like what happened to, okay, somebody do something wrong. What happened to like, okay, we wish that this person can grow and learn more, and how can we help this person grow out of this behavior and do something better for themselves? People don't look at it like that. They just look at, fuck you, I'm canceling you. you know, but
Yeah, it's like we can have healthy disagreements. We don't have to cancel people because like and just be like, "Hey, dude, I don't agree with what you said, but I'm not gonna cancel you. I'm just gonna say like you could have done it differently." For instance,
exactly.
like that, like
Yeah, there's so many
and
like crazy
especially since
situations.
you won't be able to tell the difference between the trolls and like who's actually like actually means this or means that. Just like
Yeah.
take stuff people tell to you online with like a little grain of salt, you know.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's and now people do whatever whatever is popular to do, people are gonna hop on that. So if everybody thinks like this about someone else, you gotta think the same way, because if you don't agree with what everyone else said, they're gonna now cancel you. So if you come out and defend someone, they're gonna be like, oh, you defended this racist or this sexist or this horrible person, this tyrant, you must be just like them. Like, nah, what if you had a friend who did something wrong? Like, that's still your friend. So, like, yeah, you're gonna say, hey, bro, you did this wrong. But are you gonna like support them along the way to whatever justice they're gonna receive? Like, I got a friend who's going to jail. He did something wrong. Am I gonna say, hey, just because you did something wrong, I'm no longer friends with you? Like, no, I'm gonna visit him. I'm gonna write him letters. Like, why I'm gonna just decide, hey, I don't want you in my life because you did this wrong. I know he's not a bad person, and I know he doesn't want to repeat what he did. So I feel like the cancel culture is just saying that you can't be a friend of somebody. We have to. I think we have to love our friends, and we have to love even our enemies as hard as it can be. Because that's the only way we're gonna make any progress. We can't make progress by just like bringing like fighting hate with hate. You know, um, but
Fighting fire with fire won't
yeah,
work.
fire. You know, but people don't want to do that because people want to this like revenge. People want to watch the other person suffer, but they don't know what it's going to be like to be in their shoes. When you're in that other person's
Yeah.
shoes, you're hoping for forgiveness. You're hoping for that you can repent or that you can correct your ways.
And then to have somebody say like, "No, we're not gonna forgive you,"
Yeah,
and like it just gonna it also fucks up your mind. Like it's
yeah.
one person against so many people.
Mm,
That's not healthy as well.
yeah,
You might have
yeah.
ended up making that person like a lot, putting that person in a lot worse of a situation than they were before. So instead of them learning from their mistakes, they're probably just gonna be like freaking out more and
Mm,
just making worse decisions just because
yeah, yeah.
they don't feel comfortable anymore.
Yeah, and it's in people. I think, especially for famous people, when you have millions of people thinking negatively about a certain person or wishing bad things about a certain person, that's a lot of energy to have to deal with as that person. Like, you really have to be a strong person to deal with the negative, the collective negative energy of many people wishing bad things upon you and wishing for your demise. You have to be very strong. You have to have like some type of fucking spiritual protection against this. And imagine if you didn't do anything that deserved that. That's even harder because you are in the right, but everyone has this idea that you've done something horrible and they really want you to dissolve, you know. And I can't imagine being in that position. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone unless they did something, you know. I mean, even if they did something horrible, like, yeah, I hope the justice system will deal with that, but I don't want to like sit in every day just like, you know. And I've been in that position before where you like see someone done something and you hope so many bad things toward them, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for
Yeah.
you as an individual to harbor these negative feelings. But I
Like
think,
someone you know did something horrible to you, and like in that moment it's okay to feel like to be angry about it, like, at least feel get through the emotions, but you shouldn't carry that hate along with you.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
take with you the lesson, but for yourself, for
yeah,
your own health, you have to forgive that person. And you can't really like just get a whole group of people to
yeah,
like come together and be like, cancel this person because they did this to
yeah,
me. And it just you're just gonna in a way also fuck up the whole ecosystem. But
yeah.
you th- the person might get the justice, but they might also not get the justice. It
Mm,
might end up being like this weird situation, and just end up being like some more
yeah,
drama online instead
yeah. Like
of, yeah.
I met people that like years ago I had, you know, really bad experiences with, or that just did something bad to me, and I thought like, you know, along those years, and someone say, oh, I know this person, and I was just like, oh, that person, he did this, and I think in my head, and then I would meet that person years later, they had totally changed, you know, and I was like, all right, you know, I can either say, oh, this fucking person's faking it, or they are still like this. But at the same time, I'm like thinking how much I've changed. You know, I'm 32 years old. I'm just a totally different person. There's many things that I've evolved and that I've improved upon as an individual. So if I had wronged somebody many years ago, I'm not the same person I was then, and I'm I know that what I did wrong was wrong, and I don't want to necessarily be like, you know, hey, you didn't do anything wrong, but I don't want to also be like, hey, you know, you're still that bad person and you still need to be punished for that, you know. And I don't want to do that to other people because I've met so many people where it's like you see them 5 years later and it's like, wow. And you're 19, you'll probably see that as you grow, you know, you meet
Yes,
somebody,
definitely.
you meet someone that
Like,
you might not like in high school, and then you meet them later, and they're totally different because they've grown, and that's what life is about. You know,
yeah,
it's
it will
growing.
happen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I already seen it happen. Like, to people that I know, they like changed. They're different now in many ways that we would like when we were younger. We would never expect stuff like this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
looking back on it now, if we told our younger selves this and this would happen to you, we'd just like be in shock. We'd be like,
Mhm.
"What? Seriously? I would
Yeah.
never do that."
Yep. Yep.
Or something like that.
Yeah. No, we all make mistakes, and we all can learn from those mistakes. The thing is, like, you know, um, when we make a mistake, we got the option of not repeating that mistake, or not repeat that mistake. You know, we can say, hey, what have I learned from this? Uh, if you have the opportunity to apologize, you can apologize. If you don't have the opportunity, you can still apologize, you know, within yourself, and you can still make sure you don't make that mistake. And then the other thing you have to do is like, if you didn't have a chance to apologize for something you did wrong, then you have to, in my opinion, not just you have to, but it's good for you to, now you have to forgive someone, you know, like, because and I read, you know, this is in the Bible, you know, those who forgive, much will be forgiven, So when you forgive others, people are going to forgive you for things as well. It's just karma, It's like if you can forgive someone else for something, you might make a mistake one day and do something really wrong, and and the forgiveness might be the best thing that could happen to you, because you might still be able to keep someone in your life, or you might, you know,
Might find
but
peace.
exactly. And when you do something wrong, you also have to forgive yourself and not correct it, because the feeling of guilt is also a negative thing. Carrying guilt and harboring that can also be a very negative and self-destructive thing. If you've done a bad thing in your whole life, you carry that guilt, or for a long time you carry that guilt, it can destroy you. And I've had those. I've been in that situation before too. Where I felt like, oh my God, I did this, and I'm a horrible person, and you know this can also be bad. It's happening like this in the United States. You have this, like, racial injustice and stuff like this, and a lot of white people feel guilty. They have this white guilt, and the guilt actually can be just as hurtful as the racism, because it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna also, like, hurt the other person, because you're sometimes nobody even thinks you did anything wrong, and you're walking around apologizing for something and trying to be all careful, and you end up
something somebody else did, like somebody else's mistakes.
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah. If you didn't do it and you feel guilty for it, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a very low vibrational feeling. It's a very low vibration, low vibrational feeling. Guilt, victimhood.
It just puts people in, like, a worse feeling that they're actually in, like, and seeing stuff as like depression and anxiety and stuff like that rise. I feel we're supposed to make ourselves more stronger towards stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like, we know stuff like this happen. Let's now try to heal the wounds. Don't make them bigger.
For sure. Yep. That's definitely true.
If you're gonna make them bigger, it's gonna take a longer time to heal.
Yep. Facts. Yeah.
And instead of making people oversensitive, we can just let people say, like, hey, we have the power to say no, like, hey, I don't want to watch this, and I don't have to watch this. Just we can walk away from the situation if we don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like this is, like, really a big thing, what's happening in the United States. And this thing is, like, crazy, that people are no longer able to have dialogue. People are not able to speak openly about their feelings, their experiences, without blaming other people, without calling other people names, without yelling at them, or even fighting them in many instances. And so this
it's
is
a biological feeling, like, to yell at someone, like to fight, because that's what people in the past did. Because
it's like you're in defense mode
throughout time. It's just we don't have to do that.
When
there are many ways. We have many tools to our disposal.
Exactly. Yep. Tools. Totally.
So with this, we have come to the end of the interview. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks for having me, Ren. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I really appreciate you coming on to onto my channel. Since we've been talking for so long, I was, like, trying to find, like, a good time to, have a conversation to you face to face, even if it's, like, online. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Ren.
Digital.
It's nice to meet you too.
Very much happy for giving me some of your time.
Oh, I'm very thankful for you offering me to come up on your platform and interview.
Like, this is I feel time is a precious thing, and I feel like if you're willing to give someone your time, you, in a way, I wouldn't say you're worth something to you are worth something to them. You're worth someone's time and energy that they could
Yeah.
actually be spending on something else. Let me just say it like that.
Oh, it's for a good purpose, and I like I was happy to come here because I know I'm also working on my channel, not as often as you are. I think you're doing really good, but I also want to interview people, and I know that I'm gonna ask somebody, so I hope that they say yes. So somebody asks me, I'm gonna say yes. Because
Yeah, just like stuff like podcasts and stuff. It's a lot gaining a lot more popularity now because you can just like be working on something while listening to a podcast, while listening to music, for instance. And it's a
mm,
lot more affordable. It's a lot more easier, especially with Spotify and stuff like
yeah,
that. And I'll
yeah.
be
And there's a
uh
variety of voices and opinions and perspectives. It's always great to hear what people think about how they view things.
and I've also put my podcast, like this whole interview thing online, like on Spotify through
Perfect.
Anchor actually. So if I'm done uploading all of them, you, the viewers can just like go listen to them. They don't have to watch the video. They can just like
Nice,
do their
nice.
own thing.
That's cool. Okay, so yeah, send me the links and I'll spread the word.
All right, and perhaps I might be able to like be on your channel one day,
That would be
or
dope.
collaborate,
Hell yeah.
or be like at one of your concerts or something like in Prague.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. So
Yeah.
thank you for being
All right,
here,
Ren.
and thank you
So have a
guys
nice
for
day.
watching.
Thanks y'all for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment below on this video. All of Piqi Miqi's links are in the description box below. And if you just type in like Google Piqi Miqi, then you'll find all of his socials. So,
Yeah.
all right. Bye,
All right,
guys.
so have a nice day.
Have a nice
Bye.
day.